All right, we're up to mitzvah number 17. It says, this is a mitzvah also in Parshas Boy having to do with Korban Pesach. It's another prohibitive mitzvah, mitzvahs leisa, found at the time of the Beis Hamikdash. It says, v'chol, so it's Shemois, Yud Bey, Perak Yud Bey, Pasuk Memches, v'chol orel lo yoichal boy. No uncircumcised person shall eat from the Korban Pesach. Now, this is not referring necessarily to an uncircumcised person because he chose not to be circumcised. Or the parents, let's say, decided, no, we don't want this kid to have a circumcision. This is referring to an uncircumcised person who, because, let's say, his brothers had a bris milah in the past, and therefore, and they died. It might have been a family of hemophiliacs. That means that if they get a cut, they keep bleeding. They can't build up platelets to stop the bleeding. So that person is not able to have a bris. Still, that it says that person, and it's not his fault, he's not allowed to eat from the Korban Pesach. It has to be someone who has that sign in him that he is a Jewish person. So he's got to have a bris. Now, that person is still allowed to, an Orel is allowed to have matzah and maror, but he can't have Korban Pesach. Korban Pesach is a separate thing, special thing that a person has to have a bris to have that. And an Orel who taka does eat a kazayas from the Korban Pesach, he's an Orel, he's going to get malchus, he'll get lashes. He's not allowed to be part of the slaughtering, the shechita. And the same thing, a person who has, let's say, it says here, it's brought down that a person, even if his son or his, even his, not just himself, but even his son, if he doesn't have a bris for his son, or he has servants, slaves, and they also didn't have a bris, whether they're kids, whether they're adults, doesn't make a difference. It stops him from being part of that Korban Pesach. He's not allowed to be involved in the Korban Pesach. Now, let's say the guy was uncircumcised, right? He did not have the bris at the time that the slaughtering took place. But later on, with time of the eating, he already had the circumcision, right? They waited till around, later in the afternoon to have the circumcision. But the shechita, the slaughtering, had already taken place early in the afternoon. He's not allowed to eat from that Korban Pesach. So he is then posel. He is then not just prohibited, but he is voided from being part of that Korban Pesach.